and welcome to In the Kitchen, Conversations on IoT with Breadware. I'm your host, Kerry Siggins. I'm the CEO of Breadware, and today I have one of my good friends, Michael Pytel, who's the CTO of Fulfilled, with me today. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to talk IoT and technology today.
All right, so let's get started. Why don't you tell us about yourself and your interest in technology?
Yeah, so I do describe myself as a passionate technologist because at Fulfilled, we are working with digital twin in industrial spaces, logistics, and warehouse areas. Prior to this, again, working within ERP systems and working in software for enterprise companies, but always trying to figure out how do we create the digital twin in manufacturing or even stadiums. I had an opportunity to help the San Francisco 49ers create a digital twin of their stadium. And so technology is a passion of mine because I like to see how it can work in real life situations to improve our customers' lives and improve people's lives, drive revenue, change the way we do business or add new business models. So I think technology is something that there's just so much to explore. So it's so exciting, and I'm excited to dive into more details with you.
Good, so tell us a little bit about Fulfilled and why you started it. Why did you found it?
So today our thesis with Fulfilled was, warehouse management systems today are dumb. They don't know where my workers are. They don't know if a bin, so you have a bin in a warehouse and it's bin 10, and then you have another bin named bin 20, and it doesn't know if those bins are 5 feet apart or 300 feet apart. And so when a warehouse management system is telling you to go pick some product from the shelf, it's telling you to pick those things based on an order. So I could have items on an order all over my warehouse. So my footsteps or my movements on a forklift are very inefficient. And we just thought, wow, there's this new thing called ultrawideband, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but there's location services we can use, and we compare that with warehouse operational data, and hey, couldn't we create a path for that person to follow so that their steps are optimized? Couldn't we tell the forklift to drive one way to go pick certain items and then tell human beings to go to a different way to go pick other items, increasing safety, reducing collisions, and just optimizing everybody's movements? And so that's the thesis behind Fulfilled is it's an orchestration platform for the warehouse. Whether you have robotics or human beings or people on forklifts, our goal is to be able to orchestrate everybody in that delicate ballet of logistics.
So it sounds like what you're creating is going to disrupt warehouse operations. Can you tell us exactly how that's going to work? Or
Yes.
maybe not secret sauce, but from a high level.
No, I'm not going to share anything that's not on our website. So there's some very cool technology. So I don't know if your audience has heard about or has already read about ultra wideband, but Apple and Samsung include ultra wideband in their cell phones now, and it operates in the Wi-Fi spectrum and enables you to understand an object's location. The distance between two objects, specific XYZ coordinates of an object within a space. And so it's awesome that Apple put it in their phone, but believe it or not, they don't let developers touch that chip yet. It's Apple only. So developers can't do anything with it. So we said, all right, we're going to build our own warehouse scanner, and we're going to put ultra wideband inside of it. And ultra wideband, again, calculates position on device, meaning when I'm walking around the warehouse, my handheld that I'm holding in my hand is calculating its position based on some things that are placed in the ceiling called ultra wideband anchors. And in our device, we measure position 6 times a second, which you can think is pretty fast. I can walk down an aisle in 10 seconds, and so I need to know my velocity. I need to know how I'm moving through there, and we capture that data in our platform. And this fuels a lot of recommendations for each employee, how they should be walking through the warehouse to optimally pick goods. For the warehouse manager or the warehouse operator, it helps them understand if I have fast-moving product, it probably doesn't make sense for me to store this at the back of the warehouse. Fast-moving product keep front-facing, keep nearby so people can pick it very quickly. Slow-moving product, keep it high and out of the way. But nothing's ever static in the warehouse, right? Order volumes change, customers' demands change. Crocs comes out with a new pair of purple Crocs. Everybody loves purple Crocs. Demand for purple goes through the roof, right? So we do order sensing, so we can sense the orders in your e-com environment or your ERP system, and then we might make recommendations for you. Hey, you have a high volume of X, Y, and Z orders next week. This week, let's go ahead and move items from the high bay storage down to low face pick storage, so that you can fulfill those orders very quickly next week. And we think that's going to be disruptive. Dynamically sensing the environment, the order history, the order activity coming in front of us, and essentially augmenting that warehouse operator. That person typically knows a lot of the ebb and the flow of the warehouse. We're just augmenting them. We're giving them more information and helping them make better decisions.
That's so exciting. Running a manufacturing company, I cannot wait for this type of technology. And my dog, I just have a new puppy, and he loves my red Crocs, and I'm probably going to have to get a pair of purple ones
That's right.
when it's all said and
That's right.
done.
Crocs is not a customer yet, but they're a wonderful company also based here in Colorado.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. And so, how do you see IoT specifically being part of this disruption?
Well, from a customer's perspective, I think podcasts like yours and other sources, it's just getting the message out that IoT is accessible. It is not science fiction. We can measure objects in a space, in an area. We can measure temperature and humidity, and we can look at sounds. We can look at vibration. All these things are available, and it's very inexpensive. Ultra wideband, I was shocked. I was thinking, oh, these ultra wideband chipsets, they're going to be, there's going to be a comma involved in this product. And no, it's $9 for an ultra wideband chip, and I know that cost is going to continue to drop. So, I think for the audience, in terms of IoT, I think it's important for them to know that IoT is accessible and reachable, and partners like StoneAge and Breadware can help customers realize that vision of building a custom device or having something off the shelf that might fulfill their needs. Connected environments, connected systems, like in our homes, we see connected garage doors and locks and lights. That is amazing and awesome, but I think it's severely lacking in industry, and so these areas are ripe for disruption in industry. A short story, I visited a greeting cards manufacturer, and their equipment is from the 1940s and 50s, and they make cards, and they do a really good job. But they have a lot of manual processes that, honestly, we could use IoT, whether that's cameras with computer vision or sensors for weight sensors to measure when product is filling up a bin, things like that. They could add some IoT devices in their production environment and optimize the way that they operate.
I love that, and I completely agree with you. So, do you feel like this transformation has sped up due to COVID? And how do you see Fulfilled coming in and continuing, at least in the terms of disrupting warehouse operations with technology? So, how is that transformation going to happen?
So in our industry, which is specifically logistics and last mile and fulfillment of product, that whole industry has been stretched to the limits this past year. And so good timing for us. Our application is available now. And customers that have said, wow, we have to figure out a way to do more with the same amount of people. We need to look for technology to help us innovate, to help us optimize. Then we're a candidate, right? We're looking to increase your pick efficiency by reducing footsteps, sometimes 2x efficiency, just by putting things in places where people can get them faster, more quickly. We also are, so last year for logistics, stretched supply chain, stretched channels, Amazon was even having a tough time fulfilling all of that demand. And it trickled down to other retailers and other distribution channels. So to answer your question, COVID absolutely changed the environment. Customers are looking for ways to innovate and looking for ways to optimize their logistics and supply chain.
All right, now let's pivot a little bit and talk about digital twin. How do you see the future of digital twin, and how are you integrating it into what you're doing at Fulfilled?
Yeah, so for us, the digital twin is just that digital representation of your warehouse. And so traditional warehouse management systems, you could input that I have 1,000 bins and I have 50,000 SKUs, and that was about it. You had bins and you had SKUs, and in those systems, you would just associate and say, hey, this material's in this bin. The evolution of that with the digital twin is now we understand that bin sits on aisle 4, column 2, on level 3, and it's in this space here, and there's X amount of space available, and we can fit more product in there or less, whatnot. So the digital twin is that physical representation of the warehouse, not only just the racks or product, but also people. So we've placed our ultra wideband technology inside of the warehouse scanner and on forklifts and robotics, so that we now understand the position of racking and bins and product, but we also understand where people are. So if I'm at the back of the warehouse and I completed my task for the day, you might receive more tasks on your device for items in the vicinity that you're standing in right now to be super efficient. Maybe it's picking something down for tomorrow, but you're going to put it in the staging area just to make tomorrow go a little quicker. Maybe it's additional cycle counting. So it's location-based awareness. That's the digital twin for us, the representation of how people are moving and flowing through the warehouse. And I would also point out on the robotics side, everybody knows robotics are going to be in the warehouse, automated pick systems and things like that. But the Robotics Industry Association has kind of set some guidelines, like OSHA safety rules, where robots and human beings need to have some safety parameters. And one way that you enforce those is by understanding the location of the robot and the location of the human being. And you can't do that without a platform like ours or like others that understands the location of everybody in the warehouse.
Very exciting. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Yes, it's super neat. Super cool. I'm playing around right now with 3D models of a warehouse. So we said, all right, first is a 2D model, just XYZ. But if I had a 3D model, what other fly-throughs could I do through the warehouse to understand how people move? So awesome, really cool science fiction stuff.
Awesome. All right. If there's one piece of advice you could give to companies if there's one piece of advice you could give to companies looking to use technology and IoT-enabled products to solve some of the world's toughest challenges, what would it be?
For my advice would be to get out there and learn, find the industry associations or the technologies that you're interested in and go out there and learn and join webinars. Prior to meeting with you today, I was on a webinar with NXP learning about ultra-wideband chipset advancements. And the education is out there, and it's important for organizations to find that person or that resource in their company, the person that knows the warehouse, the person that knows manufacturing, and do what you can to peel away 2 to 4 to 8 hours of their week and allow that person to go educate and inform themselves. And that will pay in spades when that person finds a technology that might help his or her company.
Great advice. All right. So how can people find you?
So you can find us in the show notes. We'll link to fulfilled.io. That's fulfilled.io. My name is Michael. You can find us on LinkedIn. Find us in the show notes for our website and hit the contact or add me to the newsletter button.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show today and sharing your wisdom and advice. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to having a fulfilled system at Stone Age in the future.
Yes, I'm looking forward to Durango. Awesome, Kerry. Thank you again for everything.
I know, and I'm just like representing the proud state of Colorado. So we're both in Colorado. Colorado awesome. Companies supporting Colorado companies. It's awesome.
That's right. ABC, always buy Colorado.
I love that. All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.